Anthony stood on the balcony of his rented duplex, the humid Lagos air doing little to cool the bitter resentment that was a permanent resident in his soul, while his wife Amara played with their 2-year-old son Michael. They were the picture of a happy family, a carefully constructed image of success that Anthony was struggling to maintain. The rent was due, Michael's school fees were looming, and the pressure was a physical weight on his shoulders. But it was a house of cards, and the slightest breeze threatened to bring it all down. The source of that breeze in his mind had always been one person, Auntie Grace, his stepmother. His father's death 10 years ago had left a teenage Anthony in her care. To the outside world, Auntie Grace was a saint. She was a gentle, soft-spoken woman with eyes that held a deep maternal warmth. She had no children of her own and had poured all her affection onto him. She ensured he never lacked anything, celebrated his small victories with genuine joy, and spent hours on her knees in her private prayer corner, her soft whispers always including his name. But Anthony saw her kindness not as love, but as a performance, a long drawn-out act of pretense for a crime only he seemed to remember. He would never forget the day his own mother packed her bags, her face a mask of betrayal. "Your father has chosen her," she wept, and the words had seared themselves into Anthony's heart. He was only a boy, a teenager. He had understood Auntie Grace was the intruder, the reason his mother was gone. Please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, like, and comment. Thank you. He nursed that grudge all through his teenage years, watering it with suspicion. Every kind gesture from Auntie Grace was to him a confirmation of her guilt. Why else would she try so hard? The day he moved out of her bungalow was the day of liberation. He was finally escaping the suffocating weight of her perceived pity. He rented a duplex, married Amara, a woman who knew nothing of the venom he held for his stepmother, and started his family. He was building his own life on his own terms, far from her influence. Yet, financial strain had a way of twisting a man's thoughts. His business, a small IT consultancy firm, was failing. Desperate, he had sought the counsel of an old acquaintance who held and led him to a spiritualist in a dimly lit room on the outskirts of the city. The man, with his eyes like chips of obsidian, listened to Anthony's woes and offered a chilling solution: a wealth ritual. The sacrifice must be significant, the spiritualist had emphasized. To gain great fortune, you must reverse a great kindness. The spirit you offer up must be one who has given you their unwavering, unconditional love. You must first wound them with an act of profound cruelty. Then, bring me an item of theirs, drenched in their sorrow. Their pain will be your prosperity. Anthony left the meeting feeling sickened, but the man's words echoed in his mind. Unwavering, unconditional love. One face swam into his vision. Auntie Grace! The idea was at first very monstrous. Then it began to morph in his desperate mind. He started to reframe her years of kindness, not as a gift she had given him, but as a resource he was entitled to. She owed him. She had taken his mother, so he would take her goodwill. The twisted logic took root, choking out the last vestiges of his conscience. He would use her. He would perform the ritual, secure his fortune, and finally have the life he deserved. The first step, the spiritualist had said, was to sever the tie with an act of profound cruelty. He knew exactly what he will do. He will throw her out of his house. The irony was delicious. He will cast her out, just as she had cast out his mother. Auntie Grace's hands trembled as she held the phone, her heart overflowing with a joy so pure it brought tears to her eyes. It was Anthony. He had called her, his voice stiff but polite, inviting her to his home for his upcoming birthday. He wanted to talk, he said. After years of unanswered calls, this was the breakthrough she had prayed for. "He is softening, Lord," she had whispered just last night. "Open his heart to see me." She immediately began to prepare her gift. It was a secret she had kept for 4 years, from the moment Anthony had proudly announced he had rented a duplex. That very week, using the inheritance her own parents had left her, Auntie Grace had found the landlord and bought the property outright. She had the deed transferred to Anthony's name, a silent gift from a mother to her son. Every month, when the rental agency transferred his payment to her account, she did not touch a kobo. Instead, she deposited it into a separate savings account, also in Anthony's name. It was all there: the title deed, the bank book showing a balance of millions of naira. This was her grand surprise. She would give him the house, free and clear, and the money he had unknowingly saved. She imagined his face, the shock, the relief, the dawning realization of her love for him. This gift, she was sure, would finally heal the rift between them. On the morning of his birthday, she dressed gorgeously, her heart fluttering with anticipation. She placed the precious document in a large, elegant folder and made her way to his house. Amara greeted her at the door with a warm hug. "Mama, welcome. We're so happy you could make it." Auntie Grace felt a profound sense of peace. This was all she had ever wanted for him. Anthony walked in, his face an unreadable mask. "Auntie Grace," he said. The name dropped like a stone in the cheerful atmosphere. "Thank you for coming." "Amara, please take Michael upstairs. I need to speak with Auntie Grace alone." Amara, sensing the sudden shift in the temperature, hesitated before complying. The moment they were alone, Auntie Grace's demeanor turned glacial. "I invited you here to tell you to your face that I want nothing more to do with you," he began, his voice laced with a cold fury. He had been rehearsing for days. "I will not have you taint my own family with your presence. I want you out of my house and out of my life right now. You can start by getting out of my house now." The words struck Auntie Grace with the force of a physical blow. She staggered back, confusion and pain warring on her face. "Anthony, my son, what is this? What are you saying?" she stammered, clutching the folder to her chest. "I don't care why you came," he snarled, advancing on her. He was committed to the cruelty now. The ritual demanded it. "This is my house. I pay the rent. You have no place here." As she got up to leave, her whole body was trembling. She headed towards the door. It was in that moment of cruel physical rejection that the file slipped from her grasp. It fell to the tile floor with a soft thud, spilling its content. The official title deed before his eyes. At the top, a bold, clear letter, were the words, "Owner, Anthony Chukwuemeka Okoro." Anthony froze, his eyes locked on his own name. Anthony picked up the document and began to go through. His gaze darted to the other papers, bank slips, transaction records, a passbook. He saw the saved rent, the accumulated millions. His name was on every single document. The truth crashed down upon him with the force of a tsunami. He wasn't throwing his meddling stepmother out of his rented apartment. He was attempting to throw the secrets of his house out of his own property. He was trying to perform a money ritual on the very woman who had been secretly, silently making him a millionaire. He looked up from the papers to her face. The hurt was still there, but something else was rising in her eyes. Not anger, but a profound, heartbreaking sorrow for him. Anthony dropped to his knees crying. Her lips began to move, but she wasn't pleading anymore. A new strength filled her. "Oh God of heaven." Auntie Grace's voice rang out, no longer a whisper but a powerful declaration. In the sudden silence, "Deliver my son from the spirit of greed. Father, break the chains of darkness that have blinded his eyes and hardened his heart. I plead the blood of Jesus over his soul." Anthony collapsed to his knees. The scattered papers of her love, a damning indictment all around him. The spiritualist words echoed in his ears. Please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, like, and comment. Thank you. Profound cruelty. An item drenched in sorrow. He had achieved it, but the sorrow that now filled the room wasn't hers alone. It was his as well. A gut-wrenching, soul-crushing sorrow for the monster he had become and for the unpayable debt he owed to the woman he had just tried to destroy. Months later, Anthony was on his knees before Auntie Grace. He told her everything with tears in his eyes as he asked for forgiveness. Then, for the first time, they both hugged as they cried.